Published, 11:36 Eastern Standard Time, the 9th of March 2018. Updated, 14:51 Eastern Standard Time, the 9th of March 2018. Peter Crouch is a columnist for SportsMail. How wrong can you be? Watching Roberto Firmino charge around against Porto on Tuesday night, I thought back to the initial opinion that I formed when he arrived in England. Firmino, at the beginning of the 2015-16 season, looked to be a player with a nice touch and a fair bit of skill. But I felt Liverpool had signed someone from Hoffenheim who would end up getting no more than 10 goals and would turn out to be a typical Galactico player. I've played with plenty of Galacticos down the years. My definition of the term Real Madrid used to describe their superstar signings was reserved for individuals who had great skill and could win you a game in a flash. As far as defending went, however, you wouldn't get a thing from them. Robert Prosinecki at Portsmouth was a prime example. What a player, and what a character. He smoked about 50 cigarettes a day, but it never stopped him doing unbelievable things with the ball. As a young kid starting out, it was a joy to be on his team. He was from Croatia and that led to some language issues. It was strange. He could understand everything we said perfectly when we were on the attack, but when we were screaming at him to get back and help us defend, Robert always said he couldn't understand what we were saying, but we would forgive him. Why? We knew that if he was asked to go and win us the game, that's exactly what he would do. It used to be the same for every team back then. 8 or 9 players would do the hard work, the other 2 or 3 would be left to get the points. I'm sure you could reel off plenty of other names. David Ginola was one who would give so much to his team's attack. You would love to watch him going forward, but you would accept that he'd leave the other side of the game alone. That's just how it was and nobody complained. Not anymore. Football has altered dramatically due to the relentless work rate of men such as Firmino and son Heung-min of Tottenham, who is one of the top players in the league. He would improve any of the best teams. Roberto Firmino puts in the hard yards and his style has changed the way the game is played. Son Heung-min of Tottenham is one of the top players in the Premier League. These are forwards who won't stop. Look at Firmino. He is a top goal scorer, but the thing that blows me away is what happens when he loses the ball. Straight away he's on his feet and gets it back. He must be an absolute nightmare for defenders to handle. It says everything about how much he runs that he's covered 165 miles in the Premier League this season. It's the same with Son, 129 miles, who is so underrated. He shouldn't be because he's every bit as important to Tottenham as Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen. They are part of a new breed of footballers who are changing expectations. When we played Manchester City last October, Mark Hughes told me about a conversation he had had with Pep Guardiola straight after the game, which had ended with City winning 7-2. Guardiola said it was easy for him to get his message across about playing with high intensity, pressing high up the pitch to get the ball back quickly, because of David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. They are City's most gifted players, but they are arguably their hardest workers, too. If they're prepared to put in the yards, how can anyone else make excuses for not doing the same? What's more, the demands that Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp and Mauricio Pochettino put on their players means it is becoming harder for teams such as us to get results against the big boys. Hard-working Kevin De Bruyne, number 17, and David Silva, top, have steered City to the summit going back a few years. We knew at Stoke we would work harder than anyone when we played at home. Teams found it difficult to match us and that's why we enjoyed some big results, but now there are no guarantees that hard work will get any reward. To cope with this brand, we as a profession have never had to be fitter. Training in the past used to be about long runs, covering endless laps of the training ground, but now it is explosive, short, sharp exercises and little 3-against-3 games in which you never stop sprinting. If you want to beat these teams, you have to join them in terms of matching them for effort. The days when everyone wanted to play in that free role, the one that meant you didn't have to do any work, are over. Firmino, Son and the other running men have seen to that. When I go back to Liverpool, there is one goal more than any other that people want to talk to me about, a header against Manchester United in the FA Cup 5th round in February 2006. It wasn't one of the best I scored, a scruffy header that bounced in off the post. But, honestly, few have been more pleasing. To make an impact in that fixture meant the world to me. It is a game like no other, the frenzy and the intensity in the stands makes it feel different to anything else. I just wish Saturday afternoon's clash at Old Trafford was a title decider. It is the biggest game in English football, the two most successful clubs of all time putting everything on the line. They both had spells in the doldrums, but it is getting back to being the standards it should be. Some games you can take or leave when they are on television, but this is one that I never, ever miss. When you have had the privilege to play in it, you appreciate the fixture even more. This goal against Manchester United saw Liverpool defeat their rivals in the 2006 FA Cup. It will take Mauricio Pochettino and his players some time to get over Tottenham's defeat by Juventus. I've been in that position and know how empty a loss like that makes you feel. Losing with Liverpool to Benfica in 2006 in the last 16 was a horrible experience, as was the defeat by Real Madrid with Tottenham, not least because I got sent off in the Bernabeu. The Champions League is the one you want to win more than anything else, and elimination leaves you hollow. But it happens. The standard in the knockout phase is the highest anywhere in football. One lapse of concentration for a split second and it is over. Gonzalo Higuaín's goal, what a finish by the way, changed everything. It won't be the last time something like that happens. Gonzalo Higuaín broke Spurs' hearts with a superb winner for Juventus on Wednesday. The loss shouldn't, though, detract from the progress Tottenham have made under Pochettino. Some of the criticism that came his way afterwards was ridiculous, and it's like people have forgotten the foundations that he has put in place. Tottenham as a club are run properly. They have not spent ridiculous money to get into this position, and I would prefer to watch them, Liverpool and Manchester City, than any other team in the Premier League. It might not seem like it, but they are not far away from winning a big trophy. Moritz Bauer, my teammate at Stoke, has promised to drive to my house and cook me dinner if I can score another goal against Manchester City like the one I managed 6 years ago. He can come and cook for me anytime he wants, but I'm not sure about repeating the goal. The only player I knew who could repeat the spectacular was Matt Le Tissier. Here, in no particular order, are my top 5. Polly for Stoke v Man City, Bet365 Stadium, March 2012. Hat-trick goal for Liverpool v Arsenal, Anfield, March 2007. Scissor kick for Liverpool v Galatasaray, Anfield, September 2006. Winner for Tottenham v AC Milan, San Siro, March 2011. Scissor kick for Portsmouth v Stoke, Fratton Park, October 2008. This scissor kick against Galatasaray helped Liverpool to a 3-2 win in September 2006. The saddest, and most infuriating, story of the week has involved Dulwich Hamlet. If you are unaware of the background, the property developers Meadow have withdrawn permission for them to play at the ground they have used for 106 years and hit them with a £121,000 bill. I don't know the full ins and outs of the story, but it will boil down to someone, somewhere spying an opportunity to make money. It always does. Dulwich is now an affluent area in South London and attractive for new homes. But what I do know is what Dulwich stand for. I was sent there, kicking and screaming, as a 17-year-old on loan from Tottenham, but it was one of the most important periods of my career. Dulwich helped me become the man and player I am today. It was tough playing in the non-league, but it opened my eyes. I got kicked on the pitch to toughen me up, and I got a kick up the backside there to focus my mind. I knew after playing for Dulwich that I wanted to get to the top of football. It was a fantastic experience. They have got a brilliant little stadium and fantastic fans, who follow them everywhere. A friend of mine used to go every week. They get big attendances and provide people with an opportunity to watch real football again, those who remember how it used to be in the 1970s and 1980s. The future is now uncertain, with a club, who are chasing promotion from the Isthmian Premier Division, in discussions with Southwark Council, and I only hope it gets resolved. If we were to lose a club like Dulwich Hamlet, it would taint football. What I've been up to, apart from preparing by putting in the hard yards at training, I've been mourning the passing of the New Musical Express. The final paper copy of the iconic music magazine went to print this week, and it's such a shame. When I was a kid, I used to get Shoot, Match and 90 Minutes, but the NME was always essential reading too. Who's caught my eye? Iker Casillas. I've had the pleasure of playing against him a couple of times and I watched him with admiration keep a clean sheet for Porto against Liverpool on Tuesday, after making 171 Champions League appearances and winning all there is to win. The only appropriate word to describe the former Real Madrid goalkeeper is legend. Next up for Emmy, it's my daughter's birthday and we're taking her 10-pin bowling. I went bowling with some of the Stoke boys a few days ago, so I'd imagine I'll be kingpin by the end of next week. What I'm listening to, another mention for the Wombats. I flagged up their new album Beautiful People Will Ruin Your Life last month and have had it on repeat. The first 3 tracks are massive.